Bonjour, bonjour, bonjour. I am your humble French tarot reader and deck goblin marine, and today we're doing a good old-fashioned haul. Mama, it's been a while. I have a few decks to share with you. We've got some mass market goodies. We've got some kickstarters that have arrived. We have some prototypes that were sent to me and lovely decks that were gifted to me by creators. We have some decks I traded with. We have indie because I've just looked at things, and yeah, there's no mass market today, but I did just do recently, not too long ago, a mass market extravaganza video where I share a lot of mass market decks. So today I guess we're doing indie extravaganza. Yeah, I just realized it's all indie, you guys, but I'm excited. We have some truly awesome gems today to talk about. So as per usual, you know the drill. All the names of the decks are going to be in the description box. If I have spoons, I'll put links. Down there, I'll also make sure to leave the link to my second channel, The Waves of Your Soul Readings. That's where I read the cards for you guys. So if you want to see any of these decks being used in actual readings, definitely go and subscribe over there. You can also follow me on my other social media links. Specifically, Instagram is where I hang out the most. I am about, at the time of me filming, I'm about to fly to go back to France, to mainland France, go back to my roots. I'm going to visit family. I am going to see some friends. I'm going to go to museums, and I'm going to eat as much croissant as I can. And so if you want to follow me along for some French adventures, then definitely go and follow me on Instagram. I'll make sure to share lots in my stories. Gonna get straight in, you guys. I hope everyone is doing good. Oh, I need to put some incense on my hands. I haven't really cleansed my hands properly. I'm touching new decks. So let's do that. Yeah, how is everybody doing? Is everyone having a good start of August? Let me know how you guys are all doing. I hope all of my Leos are having a good birthday season. And I don't even know where to start. I think we're going to start with... Let's start with Kickstarters. Let's do that. So Kickstarter decks, there's two of them. Let's do this. First Kickstarter deck I want to talk about is the Four Courts Tarot, which is a mouthful to say for me and my froggy French accent. This is by Una in Space. My copy got lost along the ether, so I had to ask the creator to send me another one. It happens sometimes. You guys know I live in a tiny little island which is called Reunion, which is in the Indian Ocean next to Mauritius and Madagascar. So sometimes packages get lost, which is completely fine. But Una was super nice, sent me another package very quickly, and so here it is. I backed this alongside a cloth, which if I was a better tarot tuber, I would have used that cloth, but am I a good tarot tuber? No, I'm not. So there we go. But yeah, it was a fun campaign. There was some goodies. We got some cute stickers as well. Now this is available for purchase. You can get it straight from One in Space, but I've seen Nicolas from Salon des Arcanes stock it as well for my European deck goblins. I've seen it on his shop, and I'm sure you can find it in many other shops that stocks indie decks. So we have a little guidebook, full color, and what I like about this, I have skipped through it, is that this is not stereotypical just keywords. You do have a description of what's on the card. So here, for example, for the Two of Pentacles, it says, upon a tiny stone amidst the restless waves, a fey jester keeps his balance. So you do have an explanation as to the choices, although I will say this is very RWS coded, pretty much not a clone in the sense that, it's 100% like Pixie's art style, but it's very, very influenced by RWS. The cardstock is linen. We have some hollow silver edging. Here are the backs. Simple but efficient. Very fantasy inspired deck. You're gonna see we have satyrs and harpies and mermaids. So I initially was drawn to the color palette, which I remember is why I backed the deck. The artist is... creator is Una in Space, but the artist is Xenia Grebanova. So for Pentacles, we have these browns, yellows, and greens. The cups are pinks and blue. The wands are in these red tones, and the swords are blue, I think, darker blue and yellow. Yeah, so really cool. Kind of when you do a big spread, you automatically can identify all the different suits. The art style is very fantasy inspired. Like I said, we have some mythological beings. Very easy to use. I've been using this one straight out of the box, and I love this Eight of Swords. It's beautiful. I do prefer some cards over others. Not all of them are a hit. Like some of them I really, really love. Like I love the Eight of Swords, I love the Eight of Wands. The Strength card with this like wyvern is really cool. Even this Three of Wands with this adorable like satyr or fawn, I'm not really sure. She is slaying and I live for her. Like so cute. I want that outfit. So yeah, some cards are really awesome. Some are maybe like less my favorite, but this I've literally been taking out the box and using. It's very, for me, easy to use. Like I could see myself using this for pretty much anything and everyone, really. Like you guys know, I love a good fantasy deck. I think the art style is really gorgeous and I love the limited color palette. Like there's a lot of fairies, you know, a lot of satyrs, a lot of angels and mermaids. This Lovers card is really cute. I think all the kings are animals, if I'm not mistaken. As you can see, it's very inspired by the RWS, like the Two of Swords here. We are used to this position, but I do like the inclusion of like clouds on the top and this idea of wings, that she's not spread because she's waiting to find out what her decision will be. Here for the Nine of Pentacles, you can still feel the like abundance and the relaxed pose. This is really cute. There's some really sweet fairy imagery here, specifically in the pentacle suit. The devil has like a little jester outfit, which is very cute. Wheel of Fortune is okay, not my favorite, but it's okay. I do really like, let's find another one of my favorite cards. I love the wand suit. I think that's my favorite because there's a lot of these like little fawn-like, satyr-like beings that are super, super cute. Yeah, like I said, all the kings are animals. Judgment, it's okay. I don't know why we have two horns, but why not? Why not? I do like that for a fantasy deck we have different skin tones. That's quite nice. For me, like the wand suit is definitely my favorite. Even the knight is gorgeous. This Nine of Wands is awesome. This Five of Wands is awesome as well. The wand suit is fabulous. So it overall really fun deck to use. I've been enjoying my time with it. I've been reading it not just for myself, really kind of using it for others as well, because it's easy. The one thing that took me out a bit of the fantasy is the death card. I don't know if you guys agree. I don't know why it doesn't really fit the rest of the deck for some reason, although it's really pretty. I just don't know, it's giving Santa Muerte a little bit to me. I don't know why. The flowers, I think, maybe. And this is more like medieval fantasy that, I don't know, it kind of doesn't go so much, but all the other majors are gorgeous. Like I love this High Priestess, and we need to find the Emperor because I really like the Emperor. Where is it? Did we pass it? Probably. Let me go straight. Yeah, look, the Emperor is awesome. Giving a little bit Odin with the raven in the background. Really cool. I've not paired it with anything. I've just used it as is, but I think it's gonna be a good workhorse for me. Honestly, I can see myself putting this out for pretty much anything. The other Kickstarter deck that arrived, so I backed this a while ago, but it finally made its way to me, has been doing the rounds on tarotube, so I'm sure you guys will have seen this one. It's the Pixie Marseille Tarot by Alejandro R. Rosan. I actually just got this yesterday, so I've not really had a chance to look at it, so we're gonna see it together. I didn't pay for the separate book, like it came in my package together like this, or at least I don't think I paid for the book. I can't remember now. I don't think I did. I think it was like, you got this together because you don't have a guidebook in the box, so you get a separate like hardcover guidebook. I don't know why we feel the need to do that, but it is satisfying. You know, just me being a good tarot tuber, knocking the hardcover book. Like I've only flicked through it, but as you're gonna see, it's very detailed. We have some parts around like why, the reason behind this deck, what was the inspiration, because this is a hybrid between Tarot de Marseille and the Waite-Smith Tarot, so specifically inspired by art style from Pamela Coleman Smith or Pixie. So you get the inspiration here, and actually Alejandro was the creator of the Rider Marseille, which is printed by Artisan Tarot, I think, and I do have that deck as well, but this is different. Like you're gonna see, it's not the same vibe, because the Rider Marseille was, the drawings are in the Tarot de Marseille style. Now with the Pixie Marseille, the drawings are in Pixie's style. So there she is. There's our girl. So we have like really cool kind of like explanation as to the inspiration, how to approach the deck, etc. And then you go straight into the meanings, full page for full page images, which I love, for the majors. And then for the minors, what do we have for the minors? A little bit less, so half a page for the minors. I haven't read this, obviously, like I said, I've only flipped through it, but I did see that we had some spreads at the back, and I think we have a bibliography. Yeah, little bibliography. What do we have? We have Robert M. Place, Rachel Pollack, Yov Ben Dov. Yeah, so you know this is gonna be good. I'm interested to get into it. Alejandro is a Cuban visual artist. He's also the one that did the Tarot des Ambiguïtés, which I don't have. That's also by Artisan Tarot, and he also did the Medieval Feathers Tarot, which looks beautiful, which I am tempted to pick up at some point. But anyway, let's talk about the Pixie Marseille. As the name suggests, and as it says on the box, this is a tarot deck inspired by the art of Pamela Coleman Smith. One thing that tripped me up at first was that on every single card, you have Pixie's signature. And at first, I hadn't seen this because, you know, sometimes I'm stupid. And I was like, I don't know how I feel about that. But then I saw, because obviously this is not Pixie's art style, right? It's inspired by, but it's not her original art style. But then here it says that the signature appears in this deck as a symbolic homage to her artistic legacy. It is not intended to indicate authorship or impersonation. So I do appreciate that this said that on the box, because literally when I looked at this, because I hadn't realized in the Kickstarter that the signature was on every single card, and when I saw that this was said in the intro, in the intro, oh my god, you guys, can you tell I'm tired? It's like Friday evening after a full week. I am tired. Yeah, when I saw that it said in the box about the signature, I felt a little bit reassured, because I don't know, there was something strange about originally seeing Pixie's signature on not her art style, but I understand now the artistic choices behind it, so I'm glad that this was mentioned. So this deck is actually not 78 cards. We have, I think, 85, if I'm not mistaken. 85 cards, yeah, because there's added cards you can swap, so I'll show you. Here are the backs. Very much traditional RWS kind of backs, gorgeous. We have these kind of almost like gunmetal edges, really nice. And the cardstock is quite glossy. I will say one thing I'm not a fan of. I think this would have been nicer matte or maybe even linen, but it's quite glossy, so just be warned if that's not your vibe. It does shuffle well though. I did try to shuffle it and it does shuffle well. So in terms of the extra cards, I've put them on the side because I've already done my choices. You had choices for the moon, so you had a very traditional looking moon, or you had one that was more like a weaver. That's the one I picked. For the star card, you had two choices, one that's feeling very RWS, and another one that was more, I would say, older Italian style inspired. I picked the other one. For the tower, you had La Maison Dieu, which is traditional Marseille, or you had the lightning. I picked La Maison Dieu. For the devil, you had two choices of devil. Again, very like Tarot de Marseille inspired, but one you'll see is more on the side, walking. You'll recognize it. For temperance, again, we had two different figures, and then you could choose also, instead of the high priestess and the hierophant, you could have Juno and Jupiter, so you can really make the deck your own. I appreciate that it's kind of like taking from different inspiration. So this is redrawing the tarot in Pamela Coleman Smith's art style, but including figures and pips that take from the Marseille. So for example, if we go into the 10 of Wands, instead of the wands we normally see, here we have the pips from the Marseille, but the illustration style from the RWS, and the actual art style like copying Pixie's vibe. Am I making sense? I hope I'm making sense. Yes, you know what I mean. It's a hybrid, right? So here's the temperance I chose. This temperance really spoke to me because it was giving more androgynous, I think. And I really like this idea of temperance being androgynous. So that's why I picked it. The lovers is very like traditional Marseille, but in the style of Pixie, obviously. The Popes instead of the High Priestess. We have, all of the symbolism from the Tarot de Marseille, but the background, the elements, and the art style is RWS. So I haven't read with it. I've just shuffled it just to see quickly, like do a little deck interview. Here's the moon I chose. I like this weaver. And here's the tower I chose, the House of God or La Maison Dieu. I love the death card, and we need to find the devil because I thought it was awesome. Where is my devil? The Fool is very, again, traditional TDM. The Strength also. Justice, beautiful. I love the colors in this deck. I love how, I don't know if you can see the sides. It feels like it was stained by tea. I'm not a fan of, like I said, is that cardstock. It feels very glossy. Can you see that? Maybe because I live somewhere very warm and sunny. So this kind of cardstock is not my fave. I'm kind of tending now to prefer matte cardstock or linen if I can choose, but that's just a detail. This Five of Cups is really beautiful. I need to find the devil because the devil I chose is adorable. Oh, here's the star I chose, which is a little bit different, obviously, to the tradition. And here's my devil. It's the same devil, I think, as the Tarot de Gassement. I think the Gassman Tarot has a similar devil, and I do like those. They're fun. I like a devil that breathes fire. I think it was a very popular campaign on Kickstarter. You can now get this. This is a contender for me to take out on my trip to France, just because it feels like it could be a good, everyday deck for everyone. I don't know, you guys, the idea of limiting myself to taking 1 or 2 decks for my traveling is stressing me out. I know you'll understand the struggle because I'm going to be gone for almost 3 weeks. I'll be reading for friends, reading for family, reading for myself. I'm like, how can I limit myself to only 1 or 2 decks? And yet I need to save space because, come on, I need to bring back cheese and chocolate. I need to save suitcase space to bring back a lot of French goodies. So I need to be quite smart about the deck I'm taking that I could use for me and others. And I thought this one could be a good option. We'll see I'll tell you guys which one I take in whenever I go. You'll see it on my stories and stuff. I was very kindly sent some decks by Inner Reflect. It is a Belgium creator. He is the creator of the Inner Reflect Oracle, which this is the first edition. And this is one of my most used Oracle decks since I've had it last year. It was one of my favorite decks of last year. Jelly got in touch with me and said that he was creating a newer version of this and asked if I was interested in helping him create a spread inspired by one of the cards on the deck to add in the guidebook. And I'm always very happy to help people with guidebooks or creating a spread or whatever. I'm always touched when people want me to help them out or share an ideas or whatever. So I was really touched when he asked, and I said, yeah, of course, I'll create a spread for your guidebook. And then to say thank you, he actually sent me the new version, the Inner Oracle 2nd edition, and he sent me 2 of his other decks, the Signs of Small Truths and Symbol of Small Truths, which I did not expect at all, and which was so nice. So if you're watching, Jelly, thank you so much. That's really sweet. One thing you guys need to know, these decks are all created with the help of AI, but Jelly is very, very upfront and honest about it. Every single deck, it says here, created with AI by Inner Reflect, created with AI by Inner Reflect. Every single deck, it says so. He's not lying about it. He's not being shady about it. He's very upfront, very transparent. That is all I ask. I'm at a point now where I understand AI can be used by people to create. I personally don't use AI in my day-to-day life. I don't use AI. I don't use AI in my work. I don't use AI in my day-to-day life, whatever. But that's just my personal choice. However, I appreciate that there are some decks that are created with AI that can be really well thought out. All I ask in that case is that it's honest and transparent, that people tell us. And Jelly always does that. So I really appreciate his transparency. And, some decks are really well made. And that's the case. I really like the Inner Reflect Oracle. I've used it a ton. It's one of my most used. It just is a great reader. So I was super happy to see the 2nd edition. In this one, you had 50. Now you've got 13 new cards and you have a redesigned digital guidebook. So here at the back, you have a QR code to download the guidebook. And the guidebook is where there's a spread that I created inspired by one of the cards, which I was happy to do. And the guidebook you can download in French or in English, which I think is really awesome. A little bit different in the 1st edition and the 2nd, just slightly. You'll see this is the 1st, this is the 2nd, so it's slightly different, and we have more cards, like I said, in the 2nd edition. And the cardstock is the same. It's like matte rose petal finish, really great cardstock. I love it. It's a joy to shuffle. So you have a yes and no card. These are all the cards that were already part of the original Oracle deck. So these were already in the 1st edition. And like I said, I love this deck. I've used it a ton. It speaks really well. It has great keywords keywords, and it pairs really well with a lot of my modern decks. So this has been like a workhorse for me for the last year and a half. It was part of my favorite oracle decks of last year. It's a really good reader for me, very intuitive. I love the choices of keywords. I enjoy all of the smart choices that Jelly did, which is including older people, which is the choice of expensive keywords. This is the card that I created, the spread inspired by, which you can discover in the guidebook. I enjoy the fact that a lot of the cards have like almost fantasy-like inspiration, and you guys know I love fantasy, so that speaks to my soul. And what I love about the Inner Reflect Oracle is that it's a very balanced oracle. It has both light and shadow. So we have here like cards like sabotage and chaos, but we have things like resilience and wish. So it's definitely really well balanced. I love this perseverance card. Like, this is great. Look at this transition. It's one of my favorite cards. I always chose this one to create a spread around, but I ended up with a wish one. I love this. I think it's really sweet. These now are all the extra cards. So you get the attachment, boundaries, beautiful, burden, which is really good. It's giving you a little bit Zelda with the red moon. Clarity, we have conceal. This is giving me the Hobbit. Contain, we have expand. I think that's my favorite one of his newer cards. We have focus, inner light, we have passage, we have persona, and the last one is resist, which is awesome. Oh no, there's one more, validation. I also love this one. Yeah, so these are the new cards. This is, like I said, a very versatile deck. I really enjoyed the first edition. I used it non-stop, so I already know I'm going to be using this one a lot. So thank you so much, Jelly. And he actually included 2 decks that he also created. Signs of Small Truth, which is a Lenormand. And then we have the Symbols of Small Truth, which is an oracle deck. And both of these are inspired by symbols. So you could technically use them all together because they're in the same kind of like illustration style, except they have different backs. So the Lenormand has green backs and the Oracle has purple back. So for the Lenormand, which is the Signs of Small Truth, you have keywords. For this one, for the Symbol Oracle, you have a PDF guidebook, again in English or in French, that you can download, and that is giving you like full explanation of the cards. Both of these are more playing card size, like poker size. They're also in this really nice cardstock that is matte and rose petal finish. What I like about these is the size. First of all, I think I'm gonna take this one on my travel, the Symbol of Small Truth, because you're gonna see it's one of those little oracle decks that feels very versatile and easy to use, right? It's like, you know, one keyword, one image, can pair with anything and everything. I could pair this with my Tarot de Marseille. I could pair this with my Rider-Waite Smith decks. It has interesting keywords, easy to use. I could use this for everyone and anyone. It's not threatening. It's one of those, you know, you can pull a few cards or just one to clarify. One of those that's very like Swiss knife type of deck. We always need those in our collection, right? And for me, the ones I've been using the most recently is Mildred's Pain, but that's a little bit intense, right? My version, it has fake blood on it and it's a little bit scary. I don't really see myself pulling it out for everyone. Some people could be a little bit scared by it. One of those very versatile. I can take out, I can pair with anything. It's not threatening. It's gonna do the job. I'm very excited to have this in my collection because I know I'm gonna be able to use this very easily. And the Lenormand in that same kind of style. What I do appreciate, I've never seen this before, but I don't use the Lenormand a lot. So maybe that's just me who's been living under a rock. But for the people card, we have myself and the other. I'd never seen this before, and I think it's great. It really leaves it open to interpretation, and then you don't have any extra cards. It's very stereotypical Lenormand, the keyword and the image. You guys know I'm not the biggest Lenormand user. I do want to get into it. This year, I'm more so focused on my Marseille study, even though I had originally planned on using the Lenormand. So maybe next year will be my Lenormand year, because this year I ended up falling a little bit into the TDM like rabbit hole. But this is cute, and I'm thankful to Jelly for sending it my way. Again, thank you so much if you're watching. I will make sure to leave where you can get this in the description box. Let's move on to another deck I was sent, which is a prototype by Tarotlands. Tarotlands Chloe has made the Too Much Tarot. You guys might have seen that on my channel. This is one of my favorite decks of the year, you guys. I'm obsessed with the Too Much Tarot. This was digital collage with the help with a little bit of help of AI, but again, I really like that Chloe says here, you know, it says created with drama, glitter, and a touch of AI. Can we just normalize people who use AI just being honest and transparent? Again, I don't use it, but if I were to use it, I would just help people. Like, you don't, if you're hiding it, it means you feel bad. I think it's weird that people hide it if they use it. They should just be open. So anyway, and she has a lot of cool decks coming, including one that is a photography deck where she is using photography she took in Africa of animals. And me having gone to South Africa and taking pictures of animals and having thought about making my own deck at some point, I was like, yes, like I'm absolutely gonna buy that because I think it's wonderful. But anyway, the Too Much Tarot, I love it. It's one of my favorite decks of the year. I've been using it non-stop. I think Chloe is super smart. She's a Sagittarius, and you can tell she's very inventive, very creative. Like, this is a deck unlike any other. It has a ton of personality, and I mean, come on, look at this Three of Cups. It's genius. So I love the Too Much Tarot. And Chloe has been working on other decks, and she sent me a prototype, which was so nice. She sent me the prototype for the Has Been Tarot. And so this deck is inspired by 90s culture. And oh, my 90s babies, my millennial babies, you're gonna see, so good. So I think this is now out. As you can see, the Has Been Tarot, it's definitely smaller. It's more so same size as like Jelly's decks. Maybe I should pair them actually. Has been in French is a saying. It's not like the English has been. We have taken the has been kind of words from English and we've turned it to call something cringe or a little bit lame, specifically something that's older and that has gone a little bit, cringe. So something from the 90s now, you know, kids from nowadays could look at our stuff from the 90s and think it's lame and cringe. We in French would say it's has been. And so that's why this tarot is called Has Been. So every single card is inspired by a like a toy or a game or something from our youth. And oh my god, you guys, this, I've had it for like 2 weeks at this point. This has roasted the fuck out of me. This deck reads like a teenager, truly like a snarky teenager, you know, like Daria vibes, so snarky. You know, when teenagers, sometimes they don't have any filters. They will just tell you what it is, complete deadpan, just will rip you to shreds. At least the teenagers I know would do that. This feels very much like that in the way it completely shredded me to filth, but I love it because it's fun. I love a deck with a strong personality, and this one absolutely destroyed me. So I like that. This has a great guidebook you can download. Chloe has associated a song which each card, which is great. And specifically if you're French, you'll recognize a lot of, I think a lot of these are worldwide 90s/millennial renowned. Like a lot of us had those shoes, right? Not just French people, or even like going to the diner and having Furbies and mixtapes. Like that's, everyone knows that. Some references are a little bit more French/European specific. For example, let me find the diddle references, which, there we go. I don't know if you guys are French, or maybe even German, because I remember, like, I think this was big in Europe and not just France. This little character was all the rage when I was like a teenager/preteen, and it's coming back now. And she's called, like, this little mouse character is called Diddle, and you could get stationery, paper, like notebooks, and let me tell you, it was so popular. Like, we would collect all the different papers and we would swap like Pokemon cards, but for stationery. And it's coming back because for my birthday, one of my friends gifted me a block note with diddle on it. I mean, a lot of these, like this is the old MSN, the old phone, flip phones, skyblogs. It's really fun and really smart. Again, Chloe's smart. You know, you can tell she understands tarot. She knows what she's doing when it comes to associating like different tarot archetypes with pop culture. So the Fool is a console. We have, for the Knight of Swords, we have the, what is that called in English? Return to the Future, like the car. Backpack, I mean, come on. Like the nostalgia is so real, right? The Nokia, like those you could throw from space and they still work. Now we have a phone, you barely blow on it and the screen cracks. My Nokia, the first Nokia I had, oh my god. I think I even dropped it in the ocean and it still worked. Like it was crazy strong. They don't make it like that anymore. Game Boy, come on. It's so fun. It's such a fun deck. So again, this is a prototype, but I think now some cards may have changed. I remember Chloe saying some cards may have changed because this was like a prototype one. But I'm pretty sure you can get this now. I'll leave the link to Chloe's Instagram down below. And she's working on a few decks. Like I said, she's got a photography deck coming up. Thank you so much again to Jelly and Chloe for sending these my way. So sweet. Made me very happy. So I have 3 decks I bought myself, and then the last I'll share will be decks my friend gave me because we kind of traded. But we'll start with decks I bought myself in the last few months. This I actually bought a long time ago, but it did take a while to arrive to me. I don't know where this comes from. Maybe America. It's the Terra Oracle. It's an animal deck, indie deck. I got this on Etsy. It's illustrated by Lucas Keon. I'm so sorry if I'm butchering that. Written by Lindsay Cummins and designed by Elle Bruner. And this is a second edition. I've been wanting this deck for years, like since the first edition was out, and I don't know why I never picked it up. Sometimes decks kind of take a back seat. You know, I had seen they've done a new edition with a huge, beautiful guidebook that you get as part of this set. It's all when you pay for it, you get all of this together. And I was like, okay, this is time, you know. So like I said, this is a 100-card animal deck. Here are the backs. It's a linen cardstock, so really a joy to shuffle. And what I love about this is like the depth of research that was poured into it. You guys know I love a good nature deck, have a lot of them. I love them all. They're all different. They're all unique in my book. What I love about this one is first, it's black and white, or I would say this is not white, it's more like a cream / off-white kind of color. It's engraving style, so obviously like it will go really well with all of my more like older decks, maybe decks with engravings, Victorian decks, things like that. I love the fact that we have a lot of different kinds of animal you don't see everywhere. Things like the aardvark, the stingray. These are not the wallaby, right? It's not your stereotypical animal, which is another reason why I was super interested in this one. It has a huge variety from lots of ecosystems, warmer climates, colder climates, northern hemisphere, southern hemispheres. Like this is really, really good in terms of the diversity of ecosystems and animals and like fauna it shares. I also really like that we have a keyword on each of the cards, so you don't have to reference the guidebook if you don't want to. However, the guidebook is where it's at. You guys, the guidebook, oh my god, so good. I knew this was good, but I didn't think it was that good, if that makes sense. Like, I had only seen great reviews of this, and there's a chameleon card, which is part of the reason why I wanted this deck, because you guys know I love chameleons. I always heard great things about this deck. Blown away by the guidebook. Like, I expected it to be good. I, again, didn't expect it to be that good. It surpassed my expectations. What I've been doing is I've had this for a few weeks now, more than a month at this point, and so I've been putting a card every couple of days and reading the guidebook to like familiarize myself with it and just get a nighttime, pull a little card to kind of get the message and sit with it and get a little animal guide for the next few days. You can tell so much effort has been poured into it, so much intention. It's really wonderful. And again, this is, it's not sold separately. When you buy the deck, you get the guidebook, which I really like. So for each of the cards, you get a full picture on the side. And then here you have the messages are broken down into different categories. You always have a quote, and then you have it's broken down by theme. So for the koi, you have something that they related to the Wheel of Fortune, and then you have another message relating to its adaptation and its environment. Then you have the message from the koi relating to the idea that they go with the flow. And the last thing is that what they've called the ecosystem. And here they will tell you other cards that might relate to this particular card from a similar ecosystem, I would say. And you have that for all of the cards. So for example, with the lamb, the ecosystem mentions the coyote, which is its predator. The writing in this is really good. Like, you can tell the people who have created this deck are really huge animal lovers. This feels like if David Attenborough created an oracle deck, you know? And I love David Attenborough. He's my hero. If David Attenborough had created an oracle deck, this would be it. We have just so much here, and on top of that, you also, if you don't want to carry this, they also give you like a paper form where you just have added keywords, so you could just carry that if you wanted to. So for example, what do we have here? The seahorse. For the seahorse, you could read the full page obviously, or you could just look at this, and it's like a summary in keyword form of the messages. So it's linked to duty, pride, concentration, obligation, taking something on, caring, responsibility, and service. So you don't have to carry the big guidebook if you don't want to. For me, I don't see myself using this without the guidebook, because this is where the medicine is at. This is where the juice is at. This is incredible. I should have picked this way sooner. Looking at this, I'm like, why didn't I pick this sooner? It was well worth the wait. And so the Terra Oracle, if for my animal lovers, don't sleep on this one. It's another deck I picked up in recent months that finally made its way to me is the Miss Weaver Tarot, sorry, by Lalanya Simone. I missed the Kickstarter for this. I don't know what I was doing, but I was gutted because this is a mythology deck, mythology inspired. You guys know I love anything mythology inspired. And so when I started seeing people like showcase their copy, I was like, oh no, I'm so sad I missed it. But it's actually available for purchase on Lalanya's Etsy shop. This is also stocked, I believe, by Salon des Arcanes, so you can get it there if you want. So this is now available for purchase after the Kickstarter, which thank you, because I would have been really sad to have missed it. I actually watched the review by Robin's Reflection. I'll make sure to tag her down below. I'm sure you guys know Robin. If you don't, you should definitely go and send Robin some love. She does some wonderful reviews. Anytime I'm looking at a deck and I don't know if I want it, I know I'm going to find it on Robin's channel, the review. She always helps me figure out if I want the deck or not. Like, I swear to God, every time I'm thinking about getting a deck, Robin has a review on it. She's so good with that. So she had a review of the two versions you could get, and so thanks to watching her videos, I decided to get this one with the big book and this specific version. We know I hate those boxes. This diabolical. Why? I mean, it's beautiful, don't get me wrong. Like, the book, gorgeous. Quality of the card, gorgeous. The deck, gorgeous. Everything, production, 100% beautiful, 10 out of 10. I just don't like boxes that make me split it in the middle. I like the brain cell to split things. I can never make it work. It's too complicated, you guys. Can we stop with those boxes, please? Okay. That being said, like I said, this deck, incredible. I love everything else. So you're going to see this is still in order because I'm doing a little bit of a deck study on it. So that's why I haven't really shuffled it. I'm kind of looking at a card at a time, reading the guidebook, and not really shuffling it to read with yet. Here are the backs. Beautiful. I love those. And this is matte cardstock. I think my preferred style for sure. We have beautiful matte edging, and the images you're going to see are like these gorgeous black images on colorful backgrounds, and we always have some flora or mushrooms, myceliums, flowers that surround each of the mythological creatures. You will see on every single card, and a lot of those have been renamed, which is fine. You will see on every single card the name of the card. So here for the magician we have the shaman, and you will also see who is depicted. So for the shaman we have Merlin. For the Sibyl or the High Priestess, we have the Oracle of Delphi. For the Divine Mother or the Empress, we have the Venus of Willendorf. For the Wisdom Keeper or the Hierophant, we have Lao Tzu. Tarot card has been renamed and associated with a mythological figure or a kind of like legend, lore type figure. Because I don't know if you would say Merlin is mythological or is he more like folklore and lore? I don't know, you guys, but you get what I mean. So for the Sacred Marriage, we have Yeshua and Mary Magdalene. And this pulls from a lot of different like cultures. So you'll have Celtic mythology, Egyptian mythology, you have Aztec mythology, you will have Mesopotamian kind of gods and goddesses, you have Chinese and Japanese mythology here. There's a lot. So here, for example, for the Justice card, we have the measure or mat. For the Hanged One, we have Odin. There, as you can see, a lot of different inspiration. For this, we have Kali, which I love. You guys know I have a soft spot for Kali. I think is great. So a lot of these I'm familiar with. Some of them I was not. So like, for example, the alchemy, we have Nagas. Is that what it says? I think so. Sometimes it's a little bit hard to read this script because it's like written, like handwritten. So maybe it's me, but sometimes I struggle reading that. But you have the guidebook that always goes in depth and I'll share with you guys. So this is wonderful for my peeps who love mythology and history and any way, shape or form interested in different cultures, different myths, different folklore and legends. This is so well done. And you guys know I'm obsessed with all of that. I adore learning new things when it comes to mythology. And so that's why I haven't even shuffled it yet. I've been pulling a card at a time, reading the guidebook, journaling a little bit about it, getting to know this. A lot of the Aztec ones I was not familiar with at all. So that's the ones I need more time to soak in. You do, like I said, some of them are more linked to stories or folklore or lore and legends. So here, for example, for the Three of Wands, we have Sinbad the Sailor. So it's linked to 1000 Nights. Like, let's have a look at a few others. Six of Wands, we have Oshun. Gorgeous. Oh, and this art style, you guys, it's so beautiful. Really gorgeous. I love that we have flora for all of the cards. This is going to be such a good deck to read with. I cannot wait to be done with my deck study because I can't wait to read with this, but I need to, I've started, so I'm going to commit to finishing it. It's so rich. Like for the Goddess of Wands, we have Pele. Come on. How beautiful. So good. We have the Holy Grail for the Ace of Cups. The Two of Cups is Kamen Rati. For the Three of Cups, we have the Moors. What I love, like I said, is that this pulls from a lot of different cultures. Some of them I'm not familiar with at all, and some of them I'm more familiar with. And so I love learning. I'm a lifelong student. So any deck that helps me to learn, to broaden my horizons, to learn new things, to expand my mind, I love. And tarot is a special interest in itself, but it can branch out to so many different things, right? Like if you are into tarot, you can learn about astrology, Kabbalah, numerology. You can learn about the deacons. You can learn about, in this case, mythology and like lore and folklore. Like tarot is a special interest, but it can unlock so many doors to other special interests. And the Venn diagram that mixes mythology and tarot is one of my favorites when it comes to like niche special interest. I love that so much. So this is wonderful. I'm so happy I could get my hands on it even after the Kickstarter. And like I said, there's I think the other version you could get had keywords on the cards, if I'm not mistaken, but that was a little bit too much for me. Too much writing. I like this to just have the title of the card and the god or goddess or figure represented. I think Lalenia is such a talented deck creator. I've also ordered her latest Decadent Tarot, which I haven't received, and I don't know if I'll receive it before I go to France or not, but I'll share it when I'm back. She's a creatrix of a couple of decks that have gone in the mass market as well, which I need to pick up at some point. The Cosmic, I forgot the name. You guys know. She's done a few decks. She's done an animal deck. She's done a couple of oracles, which have gone mass market. And I think she's just a really awesome deck creatrix. For the guidebook, you're going to see we have a bit about why the Mistweaver Tarot, like what was the inspiration. You have some spreads, which are great. And then for each of the cards, you have the archetype. You have a bit about the mythological figures represented. It's succinct, but it's enough if you've never heard of them. For me, it definitely was a good place to start for some of these more like divinities or deities I had not heard of. And then you have the tarot meaning, the shadow meaning, so like reversed, and some questions for journaling. So this is really, really juicy. I have loved reading the guidebook. I'm having a really good time like reading it, pulling from it. It's well researched, well written. I would highly recommend, if you get this deck, to get the version with the guidebook, unless obviously you're like super familiar with like mythology. Even for me, who feels very comfortable with Egyptian mythology, Greek and Roman mythology, even Norse mythology, I'm not so bad with, because this pulls from so many cultures and like so many different influences. I'm so glad I can reference the guidebook because I'm learning so much. Let's wrap it up with decks that my friend gave me. One of my lovely sister in the cards was doing a massive declutter. I've done a big declutter this year myself. Passed a lot of decks. She was doing the same, gave a few to me. The first one she passed down to me is the Wonderstruck Tarot. I think this was a Kickstarter this year, and she didn't bond with it. She was like, do you want it? And it looked very cute, so I was like, yeah, sure, I'll give it a go. And you know what? I'm enjoying it. I've actually used it in one of my videos recently on my readings channel. I used it for my August monthly guidance, if you want to see how it reads. So I don't really know much about this deck, because like I said, my friend gave it to me. I think it was a Kickstarter, but I think now you can buy it. It's definitely available. I've seen it places. It came with some extra cards. You have the Flow, the Outsider, the Tranquility, and the Dirty Laundry. So random. Which actually is quite good. I kind of had a look at it. It tells you what's on the card, and then it breaks it down with health, wealth, and relationship with some upward and reverse keywords. So definitely good option if you're a beginner. Again, I don't know how much this retails or anything like that. It's slightly bigger in the size. Let me bring out my forecourt, which was tarot size. You're gonna see it's a little bit wider than stereotypical tarot. The cardstock is, what is that? It's not linen. It's, I would say, I don't know what it is. It doesn't feel super matte, but it has a lot of gorgeous foiling on the front, which I didn't know about. So that was a huge surprise. Like when my friend sent me a couple of pictures, it looked very it obviously was pictures, so it was flat. So I hadn't seen this deck much, and I hadn't seen it in person, obviously. And when I actually opened it, I realized on every single card you have these beautiful like accent details, and it's so cute. It's really, really cute. Beautiful. I've actually really enjoyed using it lately. I've not had this for very long. I've only had this for like a couple of weeks. Like I said, I used it in a pickup pile for my monthly guidance for August, and it read really well. I think the choices are really smart. Very modern deck, has a lot of cool representation. We see a lot of like Indian representation, which I appreciate. That's not something I see in a lot of modern decks, so I like that. It's quite feminine presenting, I will say. I don't see a lot of like masculine presenting figures in this one, but the foil is so cute. Can you see that? So beautiful, colorful, and just so gorgeous. It's a really pretty deck. Like, I'm surprised my friend didn't want it, but you know what? Someone's trash is somebody else's treasures, and there's definitely been decks that I passed on to her that she was very happy I gave her, so it's a good exchange. I'm always happy to try a deck I've not really seen, and I hadn't seen this one really much, so it was I kind of went into it sight unseen, which is much the case with all of these decks I'm going to share with you that she gave me. Pleasantly surprised. That's it. Look at this 7 of Wands. It's a beautiful deck. I love that. Even the fact that we have red heads. We don't see that a lot in tarot, right? I feel like I don't see enough red heads in my tarot. Yeah, this is adorable. It's very young, I will say. So if you don't like that in your decks, maybe that's not the deck for you. It's very young, very like maiden vibe. There's not a lot of elder. I don't think there's any older people in here. And it's very female presenting, but it's adorable. Beautiful foiling, colorful. and a lot of kitties, which I love. Yeah, this is great. This Nine of Cups is beautiful. Maybe this is one I should take out on my holiday. See, you guys, that's the problem. Like, I have too many good decks and limited suitcase space, especially if I want to bring back some stuff. What am I supposed to do? I can't be taking out all of my decks to read for my friends. I'm gonna have to make choices. Choices, Marine. I love this hermit. She's camping. So cool. But this would be great to read for my friends. I know they would love this. So that's the Wonderstruck Tarot. Look at the sun card with the unicorn. It's so sweet. Maybe I should bring out this one. You guys, help me out. I don't know which deck to bring. I'm tempted to bring the Too Much Tarot. I'm tempted to bring this one. I love the fact that we have doggos as well. Look at the Labrador, so cute. Four of Wands, adorable. We have a toucan in the background. There's a lot of flowers here, which is also very gorgeous. This Eight of Wands is so badass on her snowboard. She's so cute. So yeah, it's a really sweet deck. Really sweet deck. Reads really well. Very kind. And now I'm looking at it again. I'm like, maybe I should take this one out to read for friends and stuff on holiday. How sweet is this? Oh, this card, you guys, I forgot about it. I can't. I forgot about that. Look at this little dog. Oh, it makes me so sad. Yeah. Four of Pentacles with all the food is so good. It's really smart. It's a really smart deck. It's modern. It's well thought out, I think. I'm pleasantly surprised by it, honestly, very much so. And so another deck my friend passed down to me is a deck I would have never gotten for myself if she hadn't, and yet I'm super curious about it. So I'm really excited that she passed it on to me. It is the Lust of Lilith Tarot by Travis McHenry. As the name suggests, is a deck inspired by Lilith. I don't know anything about Lilith. I've never worked with Lilith. It's not mythology or I guess like figures that I'm familiar with at all, and yet I'm on this kind of quest this year to research a lot of the older divine feminine figures, and Lilith definitely has been popping up a lot in the research I've done. And when it comes to specifically divine feminine figures who have been transformed by the patriarchy in a way that they have completely rewritten their stories, specifically Lilith being linked to Ishtar and to other Mesopotamian kind of figures. I'm kind of really in a vibe right now of researching older divine feminine goddesses like Cybele, like Rhea, like Ishtar, and Lilith has been coming up a lot in my research. So when my friend was like, do you want this? I was like, sure. She gave this to me because there's a color version, which I don't know if it's still in print or not, she kept, and so she didn't want it to. She gave me a version that's all green, which is really cool. I don't know if green is linked to Lilith. She just let me know. Like I said, I don't know anything very much really about Lilith, so this is gonna be for me a way to learn. I obviously know Lilith is linked to astrology as well, so I know a little bit of that aspect, but when it comes to the myth of Lilith and her stories, specifically around Hebraic text and even before that, I don't know much. So this is going to be really interesting for me to research. The guidebook, I have flipped through it. I've not used this one yet, so I've just cleansed it. I flipped through the guidebook, which is good. It does give you some information, thank God, for people like me. So if you're like me and you're like, could I use this deck if I don't know anything about Lilith? Yes, because you will have some references here to some myths and to some parts of her lore, some parts of her symbolism. So here, for example, it says like Lilith's role in Jewish mythology, how it ties to the devil card and why it was chosen to be depicted this way. So the guidebook is really good. Like thank God for the guidebook, because if you're like me and you don't know anything about this particular goddess or this particular like culture or lore, then this is gonna hold your hand. Obviously, if you're someone who is already familiar with the myth of Lilith, then this could be a great one to work with. My friend really loves this deck. She just preferred the other colored version, and so I was very happy, again, like I said, to take this off her hands, exploring the goddesses, very early goddesses, and how the patriarchy has completely transformed and crushed and rewritten are like a lot of the goddesses myths. And look at this moon card with the hyena, and so we see the astrological symbol here of Lilith. Wow, that's so good. That's so beautiful. The art style reminds me a little bit of Martin Diaz, if that's if I'm not mistaken, I think that's the name, like the Hermetic Tarot, you know. He's got a few decks out that are very popular. I don't have his decks, but I'm tempted to pick up his tarot deck at some point. It reminds me of that, this like old style engraving. And obviously there's a lot of reference to Lily Smith, right? In the cups, we see a lot of those bowls with like Hebrew letters, which I think were used to commune with the goddess and or to protect from the goddess. There's obviously so much to the myth of Lilith, right? I'm on my feminist bandwagon as always, so I'm super interested to learn more. Because this is truly a goddess I don't know anything about, and I'm interested to learn. And on top of that, it's really beautiful. Let me know if you guys have this deck, and let me know please if you have any books you recommend me to read to learn more about Lilith or the myth of Lilith, like that you would recommend me to use alongside this deck, as I'm really curious. This is a subject I'm very unfamiliar with, but I'm willing to learn. So if you have any recommendations, please let me know. I would love to know. And if I do find some good books, I will of course let you guys know as well. The last deck I wanted to share with you guys that my friend passed down to me is the Blue Earth Tarot. This is Indie by Alison Davis. Alison Davis has a few decks out, I believe. This was on my list of decks I was interested to pick up. Deck that was uniquely created because it was made with, oh god, I always forget the name for the cyanamide or something like that. It's a process that is very specific, that has a very complicated English term that I always forget. What is this deck made with? I think it's cyanotype. Cyanotype, there you go. So it's photograph, and then it's going through a specific photographic process called cyanotype. And this process, you recognize it because it's very distinct, the art stamp. So we have a little guidebook with just some keywords. We do have some numerology and zodiac association. This deck, I know, is very beloved by so many as a very emotional deck and a very intuitive deck. So I was super curious to try it myself. Have like silver accents on the backs, which is really cute. The whole deck is blue, which is why it's called the Blue Earth. It's only blues and whites, and it's only obviously you like made with this specific like cyanotype process. You see some flowers here, sometimes leaves and stuff. It's very, very interesting, like very beautiful and also very raw in its energy. I don't have any deck like this that I can compare it. It's really unique in my collection. Not even just the art style, which obviously stands out, right? But even the energy, it feels very liminal, this deck. Like I've not read with it, but just flipping through it, I already can feel it. You know, it feels quite deep, but also channeled in some way, and it feels like it's tapping into some liminal energies, there you go, that feel very like peeking through the veil. I would not be surprised if this deck reads really well for mediumship readings, for tapping through the veil, for channeling messages, channeling spirits or guides or past loved ones, whatever you guys like to do. This feels like a deck that would be wonderful for that, because there's something about it that feels, to me, extremely liminal. The last deck I've held that had this kind of liminal energy was the Altered Tarot, which you guys know I love. But the Altered Tarot feels like you can connect to the land and to spirit of the land with it. This one, it feels more connected to death somehow and to past loved ones. I don't know why. Was this created at a time of grief? I have no idea, but there's something about the egregore of it. It's beautiful, but it's profound. And so this one, I already know I'm going to have to sit with it and work with it for myself first, so I can like figure out why it's giving me this energy. Like, let me know if you guys feel that as well. Do you feel this deck being very liminal and connected to like channeling spirit or speaking through the veil? It's a unique energy for sure, and very unique, obviously, art style that I know some people love and that I know some people hate. So this deck is not for everyone, which is fine. That's why there's so many decks out there. I think it's really unique though, and I love the point of view, right? I can't wait to explore why I'm feeling this way about this deck. But it also feels like obviously a deck that could be good Maybe it's because of the blue and the tear, like the tear shape and everything, but it feels like it could be quite good to tap into our emotions. I need to do the deck interview and then I'll come back to you guys and tell you what I got. But first impressions. That's what I get. A very empathetic deck, a very channel deck, and a deck that could be great for maybe tapping into emotions, intuition, channeling. Yeah, I'm really excited to work with this one. I don't know if I'll have time to work with it the way I want to before I go though. So this might be a project that waits until I'm back from my trip. I feel like it deserves time spent with it that I don't think I can give it the time it deserves before I go. So maybe this is one I think this is one that's gonna have to wait till I'm back. Let me know how you read with them, what you pair them with, the kinds of readings you do with them. Please let me know in the comments. I always like to see your opinions, your thoughts. Let me know, you guys, if you have any of these decks, how you read with them, the kind of reading you like to do with them, what you pair them with. Like, I would love to know. I'm still waiting on a couple of decks. I'm hoping I will get before I go away. If not, my neighbors will pick it up for me. It's fine. I will share those when I'm back, and if I pick anything up from friends as well, of course I'll share it when I'm back as well. We can have a fun little holiday haul together. In the meantime, I hope you're all doing good. Thank you so much again for being here, for your support and kindness. In my next video, I'm sending you so much good vibes, and keep navigating the waves of your soul. Bye!